Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Around the Table GTA. Last episode, I forgot I changed it to Around the Table GTA, not just Around the Table, but it is what it is. So, what motivated me to do this episode, by the way, this episode's on appreciation. There was this song that was stuck in my head called Appreciation for a while, and then after just things that's been happening recently has made me a lot more appreciative of a lot of things too. Recently, I've been running into people that I haven't seen in a while, and for the most part, everyone that I've ran into is doing well, and I'm happy to know that even though I haven't seen some of these people in a while, or it's only if I go to a certain place I'll run into them. It's good to know that they're doing well, and even with their struggles or what they're pursuing, it's somewhat going well, right? There's a lot of things that we tend to not appreciate. I was talking to someone about climbing the corporate ladder or just work in general, where sometimes you'll work, and then you'll get to a certain point and then you'll complain about everything. I'm the type of person to complain about things that I really care about. So, if you talk with me, I'll complain about work. Complain about my family. Sometimes I'll complain about my friends. But what I've grown to realize is that that's my expectations of other things. And it's a thing where I want the best for whatever it is that I care about. So sometimes I do get upset when I don't see their potential. It's like even when I'm judging myself, I'm like, why am I still doing this? Or why am I still here in certain situations? Sometimes you do get complacent. And sometimes, it's not that step for you. Some people don't understand that, yes, you're climbing a corporate ladder or trying to make more money, but when is it the time where you're going to sacrifice your happiness, right? And there's nothing wrong with delaying gratification and everything, but at the end of the day, if you're not happy in the long run, especially if you're just chasing money, what are you going to do with your free time, right? I'm currently on vacation. I'm going to be on vacation for a while, but I do have a bunch of projects and other things that I'm trying to pursue at the same time. But I've only been off work for 2 days and I'm completely bored. I am enjoying myself, I'm entertaining myself, but it's just that I guess I feel so accomplished doing something, right? And that's a thing that a lot of people don't realize, that whether it's your work or whatever you do on the side, when you feel like you're achieving something, when you can't do it anymore, or if you're not doing it anymore, you'll feel that absence in your life. I was watching a documentary about rappers retiring and how a majority of them who do say that they're gonna retire, they come back after a few years or a couple of months, because just imagine something that you've worked super hard on just to stop because you're not getting a certain result, or you're not getting the same results as you used to, but it's something that you've worked so hard and so long for, right? In psychology, that's the sunken time fallacy, right? So that's another thing to be aware of, where are you falling into a sunken time fallacy, which means that you only really care about it because you put so much time into it, right? Or is it something that you really care about? This happens with workplaces, this happens with relationships, this happens with even substances, right? That's how kind of people get addicted to even like good things, like for example, like exercise. They get addicted to exercise or biking or cycling, swimming, because that part of your life, it's engaging you in some type of way and you're appreciative of it, right? I think another thing that I've been learning a lot is learning how to ask for help. I hate if there's a couple of things that I don't like, one is asking for help and one is apologizing. I guess that's that's double-sided pride, but I like to try to get things done, and if I do need to ask for help, I'll ask for help. But asking for help is pretty difficult for me, especially if I know I could accomplish something, right? I do ask people for favors here and there just to cover certain things, but it's just that I guess I don't know if it's that vulnerability, but I'm appreciative that I'm starting to realize certain patterns so that I could continue to grow myself. Recently, I was online and someone was asking for advice because I was on this random forum online, and someone's like, "Does anyone actually give good advice here?" Right? Because a lot of the time it's just posts of people complaining about something, or they're in a scenario, or they'll ask for help and they're completely doing something that doesn't make sense, or even the scenario that they're talking about, they just make themselves out to be a victim. So it's a very one-sided story, and you can't really tell if they're part of the problem or anything too. So I dropped some advice there, and I also talked about like how I got to the point I am now in my life, and that you have to always be working in the sense of not only financially, you have to be working on yourself, you have to be working on your goals, you have to be working on what you want to do in life and where you want to go, right? Because there's a lot of trends that happen on, and we're all victims of it, especially in the internet age where things become massively popular for a short amount of time and then after it completely disappears, all right? And if you're falling into FOTM, which is flavor of the month, you'll follow these trends until it's finished, right? Thing that I like to ask people are like, what would you do if you won $1 million? Or like, what would you do if you didn't have to work anymore? And it's always strange because a lot of people say something generic. Oh, I'll buy a house for my mom. I'll pay off my debts and stuff like that. It's like, those things are important, but what are you going to do to enjoy yourself or appreciate life or like work on? A lot of people get lost in that sense, right? Because once something's not an obstacle anymore, you have to really think, okay, what's next, right? If you don't have to work in your life anymore and you get free money, for example, what are you going to do to like inspire yourself, right? You could only watch so much TV or buy so many things or play so many video games. I think a lot of people have some type of purpose or want some type of purpose. So sometimes when the challenge is not there, you don't really appreciate certain things, right? Some people are talking about like, what's the point if something's hard? And it's just like, yeah, it's hard, but when you finish that, you'll feel accomplished. If it wasn't as hard, maybe you wouldn't be as interested in it as well, right? So that's something to kind of think about. This one's gonna be a short one. Maybe I'll do a part two. But another thing that I do appreciate is all the people in my life, even you guys as listeners. It makes me feel like I'm doing something that's beyond myself. Whether I have one view, whether I have 8 views, whether someone leaves a comment that I changed their day. It's really nice to be engaged or engaging with people as well. Like, I see a lot of lonely people on the internet, and people are scared to talk with other people and make friends just because of like how the internet's been recently, and people are scared to get canceled, and then people are lying to themselves. And it's not like these things haven't been a reality, but when you're online excessively, it kind of distorts your mind, and it makes you think that all life is like this and everything's like this and everywhere is like this. But sometimes you have to give things a chance and see where it goes. Yeah, I've just been trying to engage with more people in general, right? I've been pretty shut in because of what's been happening in the world over the past couple of years now. And it does make a big difference, right? Talking to someone every day, or just talking to people and asking them what they're doing for the weekend or what they're excited about. My small talk is a lot different than other people's small talk because I like to learn about a person, right? There's no point in small talk when you get generic answers like, oh, it's going, life's going. Like, how's it going? Life's going. Or, can't complain. What does that mean? Right? Of course you could complain. Like, say something. Say something. I don't know. I think I'm just that type of person. Like, I want more, right? What's the point of talking with you if it's just gonna be the same generic responses? If I could just break you down, I might as well just talk to myself, right? But it's appreciative that you could see people grow and just engaging with more and more things. Appreciation is something that we should always kind of strive to do, right? Especially when you start getting sad or the world doesn't seem fair. You have to see how far you've come and do what you can to appreciate yourself more. A lot of people's biggest problem is themselves, right? Whether it's them in their mind or, self doubt or expecting too much out of themselves too soon, right? Patience is a very big virtue, and recently I've been talking to a lot of older people, just trying to see like what they've done and where they are in their life, right? Just like I said before, you have to be careful where you take advice from, right? Because you have to see if that's the life for you. You're not gonna ask someone who's 100 years old, who's barely done nothing, to get great advice to aspire, right? But if you wanted to ask them how they live so long because you want to live long, that's something that could be in the books as well. You have to search out for the things that you truly want, and then, they're going to appear eventually, right? And that's a thing where some people, spiritually, they'll be like, you have to change your frequency, but it's true. Like, you have to change your surroundings if you want to change how your mind perceives things, right? If you go online and you only watch like fight compilations or people attacking a certain group of people, whether it's verbally or mentally, you're going to think that those people are like that or the world is like that. But when you start changing your content, you'll change your mind too, right? Going from cat videos or like cute animal videos, or even people saving people. I watch, well, I don't watch. I read this thread on Twitter. I think it's called. It's just dudes getting L's. No, not dudes getting L's. Dudes getting W's, right? And it's just a bunch of scenarios where someone is successful or they do something cool or something that's funny or it's positive and uplifting, right? And there's a thing called toxic positivity too, right? Because some people want to believe that the world's all sunshines and rainbow, right? But it's not like that, and it's never gonna be like that. But we could try our best to make our world as great as we can. And it's something that it kind of starts with us, and we change it by staying that way and spreading that so that other people could be like, you know what? Maybe things aren't as bad as it seems. Either way, I hope you guys like this episode. It's kind of short, but I'm getting back into the rhythm of things. Hopefully you guys appreciate this episode. Leave a comment or whatever. Send it to someone who's lacking in appreciation recently. And I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.